Hunting After Dark is sponsored by Feral Texas Outdoors, Thermal and Night Vision Optics. Hey guys, it's Jason Price here with Hunting After Dark podcast, my co-host Justin Rumley. And yes, we are wearing matching Burlebo shorts, and that is what we're talking about today.
Yeah, I don't have my onesie on, but maybe one day we'll get to that part. But for now, we're just going to stick to the shorts.
I'll stick to the shorts. So we're going to sit with the shorty shorts. Justin's got a better tan than I do. I need to go out there and get some sun. Running around at nighttime, being all nocturnal here during the summer, trying to get all these pigs off all the crops out here.
Yeah, I've been hitting the tan in bed, do a little spray tan. No, I'm just kidding. Just running around doing more fishing than anything. It's been hot. I mean, I don't think
everybody
on
has
good
what
weather
you do during the
days
summertime.
it's too damn hot, and I get out there to get sunburn, burn up a little bit, and call it good. It's been fun though.
Yeah, I mean, summertime I never going to get into. I mean, Justin's got to take some time off. He got to take a little trip out here, meet with some of our manufacturers while I'm out here slaving, running around at night by myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say playing pig patrol out in the corn.
Yeah, and mosquitoes. I'm making sure I'm killing all the mosquitoes off for everybody. So don't worry.
Yeah,
they sucked all my blood, and I've been
swatting
swatting
I was gonna say you look a little skinnier. I think they sucked you dry a little bit.
Yeah, so if I get West Nile, it will not be a surprise.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're out there battling them demons.
Well, hell, I wear a face mask now. It's like if I get out of the buggy, like I'll keep a fan going. Like I flip up the windshield, I'll keep a fan going, to where like they come in, it blows them out.
There it is. First steps to West Nile is sneezing.
Oh, I'm starting bleeding from the nose right here. Then y'all better start running.
Yeah, I'm
out. But no, I keep that little fan going, and I keep that fan blasting across the cab. And if they come in, it kind of shoots them out a little bit. And so I've been doing that, and that helps pretty good.
Yeah.
But once I step out, I put that full face mask on like that with the hat. The only thing is the hands. I mean, I've got it all the way to the wrist to just get in my hands. I guess I could wear some gloves, but it's too damn hot. I can never wear gloves in the wintertime either.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a battle you'll probably never win because they can get it anywhere. Next thing you know, they're going to be jumping down your crack and biting you in the ass cheeks or something.
Hey, but I have not run across chiggers, so it's been good. We got all this rain. I'd rather have the mosquitoes than the chiggers.
Yeah, but I'll go one night and find them for you. We'll find them somewhere.
So I'm running around in the snake boots, and I don't even worry about snakes. I'm worried about how many clouds of mosquitoes I'm going to run across at night.
Yeah, the mosquitoes and the chiggers. You get both of those all in one, you'll be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I went through some Johnson grass that was probably this tall last night, and then there was like some kind of grass. I don't even know what the hell it was, like some hay grazer that was way too tall.
Yeah,
and I'm walking through it it's like you're talking like that movie Jurassic Park where you see like the raptors moving through the grass. That's how the pigs were. They're like moving through the grass. Yeah. I can't see them, but I can see the grass all moving. I'm like, oh, this is not going to work. So I was getting frustrated last night, and it was just they're moving 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning. But you got some comments there already, Cheyenne? Who said that?
Jeff. Because he texted him to get on there.
Yeah, tell Jeff. Say, Jeff, come on, you match. Since you and him are the Coo boys, we could be the Burlebo gang.
Burlebo in the summer. Have Coo does make some shorts, but they don't have the pattern of the camo. They just got regular
shorts.
Colors. Yeah,
just put the Coo emblem on it and charge you $75.
Yeah, pretty much. That's about how it goes, but.
Well, summertime. I mean, Justin's been at a conference here all this week, and then I went out last night, and this is his first day back. I didn't have a chance to even talk to him. We were busy. We were slammed today. Even we had a local game board and come join us. He's a pretty cool guy.
He gave us a little insight on the local stuff going on. So it was quite entertaining. Good to see him stop by.
We got a little behind on getting on live, and then people coming in. So it was a busy day today, but I didn't even get a chance to tell you. I forgot to tell you that I was out there somewhere here locally.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around, and I called a big old boar up. So that's the biggest thing me near these cornfields is I like to still run the hog call. I've been going for about 7 minutes, and then I switched over to a boar magnet. Mm-hmm. And it's like I know there's a boar out there. I've seen him on camera. He comes through, sniffing the air. He's downwind from me. I shoot him. I was like, all right, man, awesome. He's down. So I just kind of scanned around to see if anything's running, looking, of course, deer moving, stuff like that. Well, over my back right corner towards the river edge, I look. I haven't even had a chance to get this video pulled off for you. Huge-ass bobcat.
Really? Just
huge.
Just standing there looking at you?
175 yards away, all full. Like his head looked little.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
he just got a piglet in there.
Yeah, well, it's just, he didn't even run. I mean, that gunshot went off. He's on less than 200 yards away on my backside, and he's out there hunting. And they had just cut that field on that river bottom. So I'm guessing there's mice running around, all kinds of little rabbits that probably cut up. I mean,
yeah, something.
I mean, there's plenty of stuff out there from them. He just cut it that day.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
so-
He's out there hunting.
So there's a
mousing around.
nice bobcat that I don't know if I can wait or not. We'll see if there's some good nights where it's not so humid and go get him. But then again,
Yeah, he's probably gone, though. He's one of them deals. He
the
done
big
ate.
ones move along.
Yeah, I don't know, though. I don't know how they'll respond here in the heat. I'm sure if he's around, he'll come in, but
I mean, bobcats are
know.
not, so easy for rare for me to see. And it's like I always want to save them when the coats look really nice and they're full.
yeah.
But then again, we can still shoot those year round here. So it's kind of like, well, do you take the opportunity? You see them, shoot them. It's kind of like take
might
the
as well.
opportunity. But like the footage wasn't the greatest because it was 95% humidity on a river bottom with a freshly cut field. I mean, it's just hot, humid, can't breathe. Like you're just sucking that heavy vapor. Like the windshield's covered and everything.
Oh,
humidity,
yeah. Ain't no
it's moisture
fun.
in the air. It's like, so it's just, you don't want to waste an animal like that, especially a nice big bobcat. So I passed on them for you so you can take a shot at him one of these nights.
Yeah,
get
we'll
to go
catch up
sneak
with
out
them.
there.
Catch up with him eventually and see what he's about here.
But I would not have seen him if I did not have a handheld because my gun is up on the tripod. It's faced a different direction. I'm still watching that pig. Just took the handheld, came off the tripod, came off the gun. Just kind of peeked around the buggy. He's behind me, peeked around the buggy with a handheld, and I happened to see him. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today is utility of handhelds. We kind of went into the affordable handhelds. You can always spend a ton of money on handhelds. So we've got several different ones that we're going to go over. These are kind of our picks, kind of wherever you wanted to be in that spectrum. Guys, you are going to miss stuff. Having the gun on tripod, you get tired of holding the gun up, you're going to miss stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's always better to have I'd say a second set of eyes there because, your gun's usually mounted on a tripod or, it's in an inconvenient way to where you'd have to pull it out of the buggy, pull it out of the vehicle, throw it up, get a shoulder workout, and try to scan around with it. And usually you're moving pretty fast, a lot more faster than you would with a handheld that's, not nearly as heavy as the full gun setup is. So it's definitely a handy little tool to keep with you. If you can get into it, as high as possible, get into at least a 384 and then 640 if you can. You can got the rangefinder ones as well. So there's a ton of different ones out there.
I mean, people don't think about the safety aspect of it. Is you and a buddy hunting and neither one of you have handhelds, you're just swinging guns around.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're looking at each other and you're like, holy shit, we're pointing the guns at each other.
Pointing barrels together, tinking barrels at the end because you're standing close and swinging all around in the dark. Because, I mean, you have night blindness from being inside the scope, so you're not sure where that other person is unless they're calling out, talking to you. You can hear them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just, think about it just from a safety factor as well as just your convenience factor. Just how many times are you going to go back and forth? Think about some of these guys, if y'all still running lights or used to run lights, how many scans are you going to do back and forth on a set for 20 minutes?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because like you said, next thing you know, you're looking at each other and realize, oh my, we're looking right at each other with a gun. Handheld, different story. There's nothing attached to it. You're just strictly scanning around, trying to, cover as much ground as possible.
And speaking of game wardens, you go out there scanning and putting your rifle out the window trying to scan fields, you're getting popped.
Yep.
You're getting popped because you don't know what your intent is. You stick a handheld out the window, you're good to roll, guys.
Yeah,
just keep rolling down, scan, see what's in them fields, and keep going if you're looking for pigs. The utility of it is, phenomenal to be able to do in the opportunities that you have. And you don't even have to spend a lot of money. And we do get a debate with a lot of guys about, well, I don't know where I spend my money on my scope or I spend my money on my handheld. And I don't know what your perspective is because mine's always been the gun is the last thing you're going to identify an animal with before you pull the trigger. Spend the money on the scope.
No, and I agree with you 100%, because you're not shooting through your handheld, you're shooting through your scope. So you always, to me, want the clearest image to be coming from the last thing that you look through, which is going to be your scope. So if you can go high end on your scope, definitely, and then, cut it a little short on your handheld. Because, like I said, as long as you see something in your handheld, that's really all you're looking for. You're just looking for that heat detection out there. And once you spot it, then you can go into your scope and look through it and be able to identify it. So it's always go more on the scope side and not so much on the handheld. Or if you have the ability to go high on both of them, that way. Because, you'll be getting the same resolution 90% of the time through your handheld as you are through your scope, unless you're going 1024, 1280, then you'd be highest as you're going to probably end up going is 640 of good quality. You know, there are some out there that have a higher resolution, but
that way have not been real fans.
Yeah, it's just, you know, they're okay, but I still think some of these 640s out there whip that up into shape.
Have a little better sensors on them is what we've noticed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And having guys come back and being, you know, what you got. It's like this 5640 is all you're going to need.
Yep, absolutely.
I guess we'll start at the bottom.
Yeah, work our way up to the top
You'll
here.
have to help me remind me on the prices as always. I have a Taipan version 2. This is the 10256 unit. $400?
No, 649, I think.
$495, so $500. So I'm gonna sit here and quote it. I'd be wrong on that one. Be getting myself in all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, you'll be getting you a podcast special.
Yeah, we'd be giving it away for free sitting there. But no. So this is kind of introductory. 256 resolution, 10 millimeter sensor. So this is for the guys that say you're kind of running 384 scope and you're like, hey, I don't have any more money to spend.
Yeah.
You know, $500.
But you want a scanner type of deal.
Get something like this. Yes, you're going to see spots. You're going to be 100 yards, might be able to tell what it is. Past that, it's going to be dots.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be blurry dots. You know, coyotes is going to be kind of hard, difficult all around. But the thing is think of it this way. You're using this for detection, not identification.
Yeah, you're just looking for some source of heat out there because you do have your higher resolution scope. So that will help out. Like I said, all you're looking for is just strictly a detection out there, get you in the area, look through your scope, find out what it is, and that's pretty much going to be it.
You know, guys that are pig hunting, you know, there's no cows out there. You see a big old herd of pigs. You're going to see those dots, you know. Sometimes you may chase a couple deer every once in a while. That's going to happen with the lower resolution. You be out there, deer heads pop up, and then you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I've been there so many times. It's like, oh, damn, the hare head finally popped up. Yeah. It's not a pig out there. But that's going to happen with low resolution stuff. You're just not going to be able to tell what it is until you get a little bit closer. But think of it from the varmint hunt side. You're looking at a tree line. You're scanning back and forth. Tree line, tree line, tree line, tree line.
Yep.
Something white pops up. Well, that could be a coyote sitting there in a tree line.
Oh,
or better yet, if they're blowing in towards you, even better. You know exactly what it is. It's coming into the call.
Yeah, you already have an idea.
Time to get on the gun. I mean, hell, half the time, you know, as soon as I spot something, I'm straight to the gun.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't spend long in the scanner. That's just a convenience deal. That scanner gets thrown in my pocket, thrown on the ground.
Yeah, where first place it lands, first place, you know.
Hits the table. Whatever I can get it into is quickest to get over to the gun and get ready and get adjusted because stuff coming in. But so that is the 10256. It does run on an 18650 battery. I have one of the other Taipans here. They run on, you know, what was it, $20 battery?
Yeah, $20 battery.
Comes with two.
You know, with the low resolution units, it'll last you, you know, a good while. I'd say close 6-7 hours of runtime off of just one single battery. Doesn't have a front focus ring on there, so just know you wouldn't be getting a front focus. It's more of an infinity style focus there, but you do get the wheel to adjust your diopter, adjust the focus of the display inside of there. And the cool thing about it, it does have video recording, audio, Wi-Fi stream. Pretty much everything you can think of inside of it as well. The only thing you'd be missing is just that front focus ring. But other than that, you still get all the fancy stuff.
Yeah, the whole Taipan 2 line has all the bells and whistles, and all of them. It's just you're looking at different size sensors, different resolutions, and then of course they have a focus ring. The next one up now, the Taipan in the 320. You're saying that one was $799.
That one's the 19320. That one is $695.
$695. So $700. I think this is probably the best buy.
Yeah,
in the lower end handheld. It's like go ahead and hop up. May not hop all the way up, just for the fact that it does have a focus ring. That's so we're not dealing with infinity focus for targets near and far. Having the focus ring on the front. This has probably been our most popular handheld over the summer here.
You know, it's still $700. Get a front focus, diopter, video recording, Wi-Fi, you know, all that good stuff. So it's, like I said, it's got everything inside and out, and you know, it's not going to break the bank. For $700, you get a 19320 Taipan V2. Same on the 18650 battery. You're looking roughly, you know, 6 to 7 hours of runtime, and you know, like I said, it's just hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, you go bigger sensor, better resolution. same displays, but
Yeah.
it's worth the money. I always think to kind of bump up just a little bit if you can. Especially between these two models. So we definitely sold a lot more of those 320s to folks. But I was like, the focus ring, you're gonna realize you're gonna want it.
Yeah,
you're gonna want it to finally clear up your edges.
yeah. Looking through one without the front focus, and then looking through one with the focus, and actually playing with it, you'll just notice you can dial it in that much better. So you're gonna definitely, not saying that everybody's gonna consider going to the 19320 over the 10256, but you'll notice the difference in that front focus. So that's probably a feature that you're gonna want once you actually play with it or already have been used to it. So once you go with it, it's hard to go away from it, type of deal.
Yeah, I mean, these suckers are so small. I mean,
Yeah, you
they
can
got
throw
a
that in
little,
your
they got a
shirt
little wrist
pocket.
deal. You throw it in your pocket. I mean, I usually put it in my pants pocket when I'm walking around with these. But, it does have a lanyard spot here where you can hook up lanyards to these things. So they're so convenient and a tool that you really should use and utilize to the fullest. But if you got the money to spend, I will tell you the one in 3D4 that we probably sell more 3D4s with this one than anything else is in the Taipan 2 in the 19 3D4.
Yeah, that one is another.
It is popular.
And the 384 model, that is probably the popular one over even the 25.
People not quite jumping up to the 25 millimeter 3D4, but doing this one. Focus ring as well, higher resolution 19 millimeter sensor as well. And we're looking at that, and this is kind of hard to beat when you look at 384. So we're looking at a 2-base mag, nice wide field of view, compact design, still running 18650 batteries. And these are good, 200 yards identifying targets. You may see a little bit further, but, for most varmint hunters, that's all you really need.
Couple hundred yards is all you're looking for. And then, you're doing a lot of varmint hunting. You usually have a 640 unit that you can see a lot more detail with. So, like I said, it all goes back to you're just looking for the detection. You're not looking for the identification type of situation. So once you find that detection out there, hop in the scope, take a look at it, and be able to identify what you're looking at.
$13.95.
Yeah, correct. That is
$13.95, and then our 25 is $5.95.
$15.95.
Sorry, what did I say?
Gee, boy, hop
21?
in on that deal while you can.
Oh my God!
He said $5.95 in store special. Come by, see
I went
us.
to
We'll
bed
get
at
them sold to you.
6:30 this morning. Y'all gotta give me a break, and I woke up at 10:30. 4 hours of sleep trying to roll up here today. It was it was a day for a
tough,
deal.
Yeah,
but no, I went from my uppers to the downers.
Yeah,
energy
you're
drinks by
balanced out
day, and
here.
then now 2 hoots by night here.
it's either sleep or heart attack. One of the two.
Yeah, if I'll pass out here. Game Warren was messing me out how old I was. I didn't look that old.
Did you tell him to keep your Sharpie in your pocket to touch your beard up when it goes gray?
Yeah. So, I'm talking about that. I haven't quite gone bald just yet. No, I have no gray hairs.
That's
It's
right.
so them 40s is starting to look rough.
Yeah.
But no. When we look at these, they do make a 25 in this type in. Damn, that train really picked up the train today. I never remember hearing
It's a little
train
louder. Got a new horn.
blowing that horn. Make
Yeah.
sure he goes through town. But no, they do make it in a 25, which is a 2.5 base. Of course, you are dealing with a larger sensor with the same 3D4 resolution, so you do have a little bit better range and detection of seeing things. So people sometimes do jump up to the 25. You can do that. Some people do, some people don't. It just kind of depends. Sometimes it just comes down to the money thing.
Yeah.
2.5 is still a perfectly nice wide field of view. But some people just want just a little bit more. I want a little bit more detection. They're worried that if they don't go ahead and upgrade, I mean, it happens sometimes, but everybody's a little bit different in your budgets of what you want to do. But they do make this in a 25 as well. They do not make it in anything else. The 25 3D4 is like the max in 3D4 before you jump up into some of their other products.
Yeah, you'll start going into, which will bring us to our next model would be the Reach IR. Reacher, reach around, reacher, whatever you want to call it.
Reach out, reach in.
They do have 4 models in the Reach IR series. They have the 25 384, so they do have this available in a 25 384.
They're phasing it out. There's a couple left, but
Slowly, okay.
yeah, those are pretty much on a phase out.
Gotcha. And then it'll go up to 35 384, 35 640, 50 640. And
Pretty much the 3D4s are phased out. So we're looking now just at 35
just
and
the
just the 640s now.
Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah. So
as I think that's what they announced to us here going into the summer, that those 2 models are getting phased out.
yeah.
now.
So 35 640, 50 640. Built-in laser rangefinder. Has the adjustable front focus ring. Same with the diopter. And still has pretty much everything. The standard bells and whistles here. Got the video recording with audio, Wi-Fi stream. Runs off the 18650 battery as well with it. So with these guys and the 640, you're looking roughly 4, maybe 5 hours of runtime off of a single 18650.
If you're cold, you're going to be 4 or less.
And then oftentimes, if you're running the rangefinder continuously, which most people do, just because it's a benefit to the Reach IR,
run that continuously.
Yeah,
but it does have the timeout though.
Yeah, then if some people are like, well, I probably won't run it. The next thing you know, you're finding yourself running it the whole entire time, just because you have it. Why not use it? Type of deal.
I can't remember the increments, but on continuous laser rangefinder, if you want it to be continuous, you can actually have it have a timeout of where it will stop running continuously until you press the button again.
Yeah.
So if you are kind of want to be a little conservative, you can have it run 5 seconds. You can also have it run a minute. Anywhere in between, and I forget what the increments are, if it's 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah,
I've seen different softwares.
It varies. Yeah, it varies.
And so you do have an option for that, guys, if you are worried about it constantly range finding. You can change that and lower it. You don't want it every 5 seconds. You want to do it. But I do like that, targets coming in, especially if you do kind of the spotter shooter type situation. Like, I know that I can't make the shot on the right-hand side. Justin's over there. I can still be calling ranges to him, and I can't safely shoot. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be like, all right, he's coming in, he's coming in, he's coming in. So he's focusing on his crosshairs, aiming, leading, whatever he needs to do.
Yeah.
Those are great situations to use those in those continuous laser rangefinders where you're calling out those ranges as a spotter.
Yeah, and then this one, too, it still has the thread hole at the bottom for a lanyard. And the other cool thing that's oftentimes overlooked with the Reach IR is the Zoom Pro feature inside of it. Will help you clear up your edges upon higher magnifications other than your base magnification. So it's like I said, it's a feature / tool that is oftentimes overlooked in the Reach IR. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out.
Because it's in our
does help.
Yeah, it's in our videos, and you could leave it on, but it slows the processor down because essentially it's an AI algorithm running in that software to clear up those images. So usually you use it in a situation where you've spotted a target. I'm not quite sure identification. Turn it on. It does automatically turn it off every time you turn off the handheld because it doesn't want you to sit there and be constantly. It's not necessarily the battery running out. It just seems like the frame rate's slow. It's because it's trying to process all that in real time.
Yeah.
And so usually he's like, hey, I'm out there on target. I need to make sure what this target is. And it's kind of interesting where it takes a zoomed up, digitized image and then clears it up. And you get so many people say, well, talk about pixelation when we zoom in. Well, now AGM's the only company that has this right now. They have ways to clear that up now.
Yeah. No, I agree. I thought we had no idea. Well, I take that back. Yeah, we had no clue what it was. We checked it out. We were like, no, we don't really notice anything.
And then nobody's talking about it. Yeah. And it's like, why is no one talking about this?
Then you slowly play with it. Then you go from your base magnification, you magnify one time, notice it a little bit. Then you go a little bit higher on the magnification. Then you hit it. You're like, okay, now I can see the difference. Because oftentimes, there's some times where you want to see, a little bit further out. Even if you're just playing around with the handheld, you want to see at a further distance. Try out that Zoom Pro. Check it out because it does work. It clears up the edges on a higher magnification. I would say is
you're looking at a Minecraft type image, and then it has it smooths off the edges.
Yes, and you're like, wow. I was like, yeah, he's full of shit. Didn't really believe him. Then you try it, and you're like, wow, that's impressive. So. That's definitely a cool feature.
It is a cool feature that, not talk about. It's also in those Adder V2 scopes. It's not in the 1280, but it is in all the other ones now. And we ran all this field tests on those Adders and totally forgot to turn those Zoom Pro features on half the time.
Yeah, and a lot of time, with the lower base magnification scopes, we're magnifying up, and you don't even think about it to use it. But that's the main thing
and we're utilizing handhelds, so then we never really think when we're spotting something we're not sure what it is. We're doing it with a handheld.
Yeah,
maybe hop over the scope, but then don't forget to turn that feature on. But it is there. Utilize it to your full advantage, especially when you're looking at target identification.
Yeah,
and it's a cool feature to have. They make that in the 35-640 and the 50-640.
Yep.
50 just a little bit bigger, but it's awesome. I mean, it is 2 base on the 35, 3 on the 50.
Correct, that is correct. Yep. And then we're looking at price wise here. We are $24.95 for the 35-640, $29.95 for the 50-640, and that is they only have them in the rangefinder version. So that's the Reach IR. 35 640 and 50 640.
So cool handhelds there. We do have one more. It's actually two more. We just pulled out the one because they look exactly the same.
Yeah.
So those were all AGM products. AGM pretty much has a big standing in the handheld market.
Yep.
Pulsar had some 17 micron 3D4 stuff, and I don't mind telling you this. It's just they don't have 12 micron units on handhelds. You know,
I agree.
you get such a more fine-tuned image going with 12 micron handhelds and 3D4, and they pretty much kind of own that market. Infrared Knockpix has that Lumi. I just don't like the 4-base mag on their 19 their L19, LP19, whatever they call it.
Yeah, and then
on
even
the Lumi, we've got those, but I've just not been a fan on theirs on the 3D4.
Are you talking about the Lumi L35?
Yeah.
With the 4-base. You said the 19. You threw me off.
Yeah, that 19, because it's a 19, and it is that L19 is a 4-base 3D4, and it just doesn't seem to work well in the handheld. Considering what the offerings are right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean, can I ask you to grab one product? And I can't believe I forgot almost one of my favorites. Can you grab me the Lumi H35? It's on the right hand side, or just one of the Lumis. We're going to talk about the Vista here real quick, and then we're gonna hop in on the Lumi to kind of round that off.
Yeah.
But we kind of hopped up to the Vista because we look at laser rangefinder units and where they headed with laser rangefinder units, and that would be integrated laser rangefinders into the front bill, like you see here. There is no secondary eye; it's just right there built in.
It's hidden. You never know it was there if you didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, no one knows it has laser range. Thank you, Sean. And so with this unit, you have a big, huge, awesome battery. It has got that cartridge battery in there. And that thing's going to last you all night long. I mean, I didn't even run a battery test because we sat there and had that thing on all night long and never changed the battery. Yeah. It will have 8 hours for sure.
That without a doubt.
H35R in the Vista. So 35 millimeter 640 with a 3 base mag.
Yep, with the 3 base magnification, with the built-in laser rangefinder. Then, of course, has the video recording, Wi-Fi, all that good stuff. And
they're probably the first introduction into handhelds with Ultra HD displays of the 2560 by 2560 displays.
So I was saying, I was talk about is the big display. You know, it is nice. It does come in handy. You know, comparing it to other handhelds, that display is definitely a game changer for the most.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It looks different than most standard handhelds. It just seems like it's such a wide field of view. It's got that IMAX feel to it. Is what the best way, I guess, to kind of describe it.
Yeah, you're sitting there front row.
You're kind of looking up in it. You're kind of looking down in it.
Yeah,
and so it's kind of interesting the way that they've done those higher end displays. It does have a unique feature, which we still don't see a lot of that talked about. With some of their units that do not have laser rangefinders, it actually can integrate, just like how some of these Kestrels with scopes and different things, with dopes and information. The handhelds can send information to scopes linked via Wi-Fi antenna. An in-link function can transmit its ballistic data and laser rangefinder information into the scope that does not have a laser rangefinder.
Yeah, and so like your Knockpix Ace H50s, Ace L35, and even the Slim series, it'll put it inside. I remember Clint was talking about that it will work inside.
I think I may have missed that whenever we were talking about some of it.
He mentioned that it does work in the Slim series as well. So there's at least 4 units that it will work inside that are non-range-finding units. So just know if you've already invested money into a non-range-finding Knockpix unit that you have the option to be able to get the handheld with the rangefinder and link it into your scope if you really wanted to. It does take a little work, you know, got to be creative with it, but it will work. And
loading your ballistic data, your ballistic calculator into your scope.
Yeah.
And then making sure that data is all correct. That way, when it does give you laser rangefinder saying this distance is 200 yards to this target, that it is in there correctly. So it's not so much on this side, it's just what's programmed into the scope.
Yeah. And then this one does still have the laser rangefinder thread pattern at the bottom, or the lanyard thread pattern at the bottom that you can screw into there. And then you do have I believe it comes with a
little handheld.
Yeah, like a little lanyard type
wrist
strap that you can put it on. But definitely a fun, interesting unit. Like I said, I used one for a while, and you know.
I mean, you were running the H50, which is a 4-base mag.
Yeah, the H50R is a 5640 version of this, but has the 4-base magnification. But it does have the software setting in there where you can go and change it to a 3 base. But
Actually, this one does on a 2, but all it is really a cropped image. It doesn't really change
yes,
the
it doesn't
base.
change your field of view. So a lot of those guys, if you're interested in the
Kind of
5640,
like that IMAX field of view,
Shrinks
essentially just cuts it down.
yeah, and so it doesn't change your field of view or anything. All that still stays the same. So you're still getting a 4 base magnification field of view. It doesn't widen it out to a 3 base magnification field of view. So it doesn't really change anything. So I just strictly ran it on the 4 base magnification, and it was a little different, but I kind of got used to it. And
Especially the varmint hunting, you're
yeah.
going more longer range.
And that was the thing too, is I wanted to be up close and personal with it, whether it was a 50-yard view or if it was a 500-yard view. I wanted to be up close and personal, get the best quality image that I possibly could, and get a range with it as well. And it took a little while, but I definitely got used to it. It's been one of my fun units that I like to run.
Now, I like the star, the way they do like the flat-based blue
Yes,
star in
the
there.
range-finding box.
It feels like I can
Blue
get more
star.
level of where I am instead of just a square box. And so I do like the way they did the laser range. I feel like it feels like it's more precise.
Yeah,
That I can line
agree.
it up better.
Yeah.
Price now on the Vista 35 is $3,000. What is the 50?
That one is $4,000.
$4,000 for the 50. So you do kind of jump up. You are looking more on the expensive handhelds because you do have a lot of features like we just mentioned.
Yeah.
In these two, that is why it's priced the way that it is.
Well, then you get a clean, crisp image. I'm over here swallowing the mic. And it, like I said, it does give you a good, great, awesome image. So, yeah, it might be a little steep on the price, but is it worth it? Yes, I will definitely vouch for it.
So me, bells and whistles are all well and great. I do like a very simplistic handheld myself.
Yeah.
I like one, good image quality. I don't care about laser rangefinder. I'm not going to shoot stuff till it gets in close. I'm not one who's like, oh man, well, as I'm wearing my hat that just says just fucking send it.
Yeah. Just send it. That's all
That's
you gotta
about, I
do.
guess that's about right. I will throw one out there, but I don't care. I'll throw it on the
It's
spine.
not
and see what
first
happens.
on the list. You're not going
I'll
to just
try
do
to
it.
get them in. I'll make every effort. So laser rangefinder for me and trying to hold over and things like that, it's not so important to me. But I like a simplistic handheld. I don't need every little fancy thing in there. I want something I can just throw some 18650 batteries in, cheap little $20 batteries. I can throw them around my buggy. They can get hot, and then get left in the cab, get left in the truck, get thrown on the ground, dropped, lost, stomped on, whatever.
And throw them in, they still
And throw
work.
them in, and they still working, or I go throw it in the trash to go get me another one.
That's right.
And so I like the Lumi series. I mentioned the 384 I wasn't a fan of, but I am a big fan of the H35 Lumi.
Yeah.
This is probably what we recommendations to hunters, on the varmint side, law enforcement guys. I do mention this to this because I like the compactness. I mean, you can see it
Very
sitting here
small.
in my hand.
It's fit in any pocket, front pocket, back pocket, shirt pocket.
Lanyard capability and simple battery system. It does not have the HD display like the Vistas do. No laser rangefinder in this model, but a 35-640 with a 2.5 base mag. Perfect.
It's hard to beat.
Yeah,
It's
this is one of my favorite handhelds when we look at the 35-640. That if I don't need a laser rangefinder option, so this is one that I mentioned to people. Is like you just need a simple handheld and you want to spend the money for 640. Now these are running now at
they're $2,200.
they're still at
the same.
2,200.
Yeah.
But some of these price changes, it's been hard for us to kind of remember.
Yeah,
some of
the Lumis
prices.
were one that didn't go up in pricing because of the tariffs, so they still The L35 is 1,700, H35 is 2,200.
Yeah, and so like I said, if on 384, if you're fine with the 4 base mag, great. But I'm not a big fan of it. I do like having my wider field of view on handhelds. 2.5 is usually kind of my max. 3, I will deal with it, but I will bitch
It's
about
not
it.
priority. Yeah.
I will bitch about a 3. But I still use them. We still go out there and do it. But if 2.5, that's kind of my max. I like 2.5 on a handheld, nice wide field of view. How many times I'm gonna have to be going back, scanning back and forth in the night? So this is my handheld. Of
See, I
choice.
like that one in the winter because
you keep
I
gloves on?
can be like this and I'm looking and I can put it back in my pocket.
Oh, I just think you're gonna fall asleep with it in your hand. You drop it, and you'll be all right.
No, I just do. I sleep sometimes if I act like I'm looking. Yeah, obviously. Sometimes if it's 3 or 4 in the morning, it's dead, and I'm doing this, I'm probably asleep. I'm just acting like I'm doing something. I'm just taking me a quick cat nap. But no, I like that one in the wintertime because, like I said, I can scan with it, and usually got my big jacket on. and boom, put my hands right back in my jacket, or even put them in my front pockets of my big pants, and hell, it fits right in there perfect. And then so summertime, I'll usually try to go to the bigger, bulkier ones, but it all just depends, honestly. Like I said, that's the convenience of the Lumi series, is it can go anywhere. There's no restrictions.
And everybody is going to be a little bit different on what you need in your utility. So when you call us and you ask us, hey, what is it, a product? I want to do this. I want to do this. Well, we're going to ask you these questions. Right? You want a laser rangefinder? What base mag is going to be best for you? Are you in tight? Are you in close? What scope are you running?
Yeah.
Do we need to go lower in resolution? Can you get by with it? What's your budget? There's so many different options for you to be able to do things that are going to fit for you. Is there no wrong way? Everyone's got a different preference of what they like and what they're wanting in a handheld. But don't sit here and do without. The handhelds are the way to go. Even if you got to go try to sell it later and upgrade it, at least get something, just like I said, for the safety factor of it, convenience factor, and don't miss animals out there because you're not running a handheld. Because, you are not going to be running 360. Think about movement, too, on the varmint hunting side. If you guys are ground hunters, I've got spoiled with a high rack, but I still do get on the ground from time to time. If you're trying to run that things in a circle, even this big, wide, huge semicircle like this, you're moving. You're moving a lot. I can keep it tight. I can stand still. I can keep my movement pretty minimal here, all up in here. I'm not sitting there rotating my whole body in a whole tripod and a gun slinging all around. Those predators and varmints like that, they are focused in on movement. Hear that call, they get within a located area, and then they look for movement. And at nighttime, they can still see that movement just as easy as anything else. So take these tools to your advantage to not sit here and get yourself stuck.
No, I agree 100%. A lot of people don't realize the movement at night. You need to try to limit it as much as possible, because especially if there's a moonlight coming out, they can, the backdrop, whether you're set up on a tree line or up against a tree or something, any slight movement outside of your backdrop, they're going to be able to see it, So you definitely want to try to utilize the handheld if you can. Like I said, from $500 all the way up to $4,000, there's a handheld out there for you. Definitely if it's something that you want to get into, not saying that this is going to be the key to success and guarantee you a kill every night type of deal, but is it something to make your life a lot easier and probably save you from a ticket from the game warden from hanging out your gun out the window or having to carry your gun out there with you every time, or if you're looking out your back porch, if you need to go take out your chicken pens or, hear something at night, the options for it are limitless. You can utilize a handheld for so many reasons
just go get a cheap handheld. All right, I see a spot I didn't see before. It's time to get serious. Get on the gun.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It could be just as simple as that. It's home security, your wife, your kids, Wi-Fi stream the device. They all Wi-Fi stream. You can use this in so many ways. Hell, if you guys are sitting in blinds and you got your gun inside and you don't want to pull the gun up and try to hold the gun up in the blind, you don't have a way to set it up.
Well, a lot of guys, they
sit that binocular on the windowsill, Wi-Fi stream to your phone.
Yeah, and a lot of guys, deer hunters, they'll use them to walk into their deer stand.
Yeah, what are you blowing out?
Yeah, seeing what they're spooking out or trying to stay, take a different route to their blind instead of going, a certain direction that might be a little closer to their feeder. Like I said, the options, they're endless. You can do whatever you want.
One thing I did forget to mention, because we do get guys ask us about this all the time. So when the whitetail are in velvet, there's blood flow to those antlers. You can count their tines.
Yeah.
You can count the points on them.
And that's from top end to bottom end, or bottom end to top end on handhelds. Get you a good 5640 handheld, whether they got velvet or not, you can still see them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Once they start losing blood flow and they harden, you can still see it. It's just invertly. It's just, a white hot in velvet, and then it'll show up black. It'll show up inversely. When cold air is hitting the bone and they're sitting there and that's starting to absorb all that cold air, you'll see the contrast. And we've shown that. I believe the Lumi is the one I probably had the best footage of. The Lumi or one of the Vistas had one of the best footage I had of a buck. Buck right outside my house was running out in front of us. He ran across the road where road's in the background white, and I can see black on his antlers. I can literally count every time that was on him.
Yep.
It's just inversely. And so, that's the thing is some of you go out there, you're doing deer observations. You got your wildlife management stuff going on. You need to know what you got, what bucks running around that area. I don't have the thermal on the gun there. It probably won't, game warden probably won't like that. But if you're out there scouting, just keep your handheld with you. Yeah. And, do that, take advantage of that. But I mean, and that's all on the hunting side. When the home security type stuff, I mean, we talk about law enforcement.
Oh, yeah.
They ask us for handhelds and what we recommend. Something that fits in tactical vest. Whether somebody wants to talk about go bag type situations, emergency preparedness.
Common batteries,
18650
batteries are common. You can find those at
because you could get
anywhere.
You can get those that run. You can get them to run your flashlights, your radios, your rechargeable battery packs, like all those things, and all run on a common battery type and thermal handheld. Run that stuff all together and make it all universal for you.
Yep,
and
that's what makes it nice.
And they hold those charges pretty good. They do self-discharge after long-term period use. 6 months they may discharge off.
Yeah.
But they still hold quite a bit of charge, and we have a ton of them everywhere.
Well, yeah, and they don't break the bank either. They're not going to cost you a fortune. So
your truck, you got them in cup holders. My truck, I got them in cup holders and buggy, and we got them scattered everywhere where we're always ready to go.
Yeah,
I got even a hard case with some.
Yeah, I put my hands in my pants sometimes. Yeah, 18650.
About to go put one through the wash.
Yeah, I'm like, where did that come from? I've been looking for that,
And they've been such a dependable power source for handhelds. And then some people's scopes run those now these days too.
Yeah.
So it is an awesome way to go out there and, no one's running external battery packs to these handhelds because our handhelds get the most use over the scope. We can put that sleep mode into the scope, save the battery on the scope.
Yeah.
Especially you guys up north, utilize that handheld and run that battery down in that handheld until you see something. Put it in that power save mode, stand by. But you guys, if you got questions, reach out to us at feraltexasoutdoors.com. We have a new store location coming up here that we should have ready at the end of fall here in the winter, but we are still here at our current location. And come by and see us, come check them out, give us a call. Always come by and see us, see what is going to be the best fit for you.
Yeah.
But other than that.
And we finally got dirt moved, like Jason said, down the street.
Yeah, I got to go down there and inspect.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to go inspect the daily work of the local dirt work people. So it's been an interesting process. I'm sure if you want to hear about it, Jason.
Justin will get his own space instead of sitting here on the couch with me.
Jason will tell you all about his experience on building the new store. It's been quite fun. He
stressful.
He turns red quite often whenever it's discussed. But be sure to check us out at Hunting After Dark Podcast on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. If you have any questions, shoot us an email at huntingafterdarkpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.